Oh, Christmas had been wonderful. Oscar had stayed with us. Cyril and Vivian were in holiday spirits. Oscar and I were imbibing in a bit of absinthe. This is nice, Oscar. Just us. An ideal husband is such a success. We can repay Arthur, take care of other bills, and maybe have a bit left to go away somewhere.
Pay the bills, certainly, but leave town? That would be too much.
Because of him, you mean? You'd miss him, wouldn't you, that spoiled fop?
Constance, stop. Don't use that word. Not you, please.
I have a right to use whatever words I choose.
Don't be cantankerous, Constance. If I think it best we not all go on a trip, then that's how it's for just now.
I grabbed the absinthe and drank directly from the bottle.
Constance, you're being ridiculous.
Ridiculous, Ray? Me? I hardly think so. Am I the one parading about with a 20-year-old? A member of my own sex? Am I the one who leaves my own biological children to spend ridiculous amounts of each cash to pacify the whims of a brat who couldn't care less about what chaos he creates in other people's lives? Ridiculous? You are ridiculous. I would side with his father if it would mean Bosie Douglas alone would be sent away forever.
What are you saying?
I saw, Oscar.
What? What did you see?
My memory has played tricks, but no more. When I entered that bedroom in the hotel, I remember now what I actually saw.
That's enough!
In the twilight, I could make out two figures on the bed, Oscar, but you were not half undressed as I originally thought. You were naked, fully naked, embracing Alfred Douglas from behind. You were writhing together in some hellish act. Then you both cried out. It was at that moment that your gaze caught mine. That's the truth, isn't it, Oscar? All the play acting in the world couldn't bring down the curtain on this abomination you call our life. But he didn't fall to his knees and beg my forgiveness as if it were a stage play. No. He recoiled and ran up the stairs out of my sight. I ran up after him, but by then the absinthe had so taken hold of my senses that its rainbow-hued embrace pulled me off of my footing. I slipped and fell down the staircase. Stabbing pain shot through my back. Oscar reappeared from above and raced to my crumpled body. The doctor was sent for. On examining me, he pronounced that miraculously no bones had been broken, and then he asked what had happened. Oscar went ashen. I answered, I've been dancing with the green fairy, doctor, and I simply missed a step.
Every day I expected a reply from her. Time passed with no word. Then, in mid-April, I received an envelope postmarked Switzerland containing 2 letters.
Dear Mrs. Eagleston, my sister Constance Holland informed me of your acquaintance. She seemed ever so much relieved after your interview, and her energy rallied. For this, I am grateful. I regret to inform you, however, that Constance passed away on April 7th. She had undergone what she expected to be quite simple surgery, but encountered unforeseen complications. Her 2 sons, Cyril and Vivian, are well loved and safe. My sister was the most stubborn, surprising, and loyal person I ever knew, and will be greatly missed, especially by me. Very sincerely yours, Arthur Holland.
My heart sank and tears welled up in my eyes, surprised at my attachment after being with this woman for so brief a time.
P.S. Enclosed is the letter addressed to you that I found among her possessions.
Dear Miranda, forgive me for not expressing my congratulations on our article before now. Shortly after your departure, I received a letter from Oscar saying that he would be delaying his visit. But it was then revealed to me that instead of coming to his family, he had chosen, after all was said and done, to rendezvous with Alfred Douglas in Naples. My ire was so great as to prevent me from any activities for some time. I had to literally recuperate. I am not sure now how he is living, but I have concluded that Oscar and I must live independently. I have provided him with a small monthly allowance. You can imagine my brother's reaction. I examined the story of my life over and over, but it was not until I read with varying degrees of amazement your issue of the Women's Nation that I could get some clarification on this person named Constance Wilde. Her tolerance had martyred her. Her husband, whom she worshipped, proceeded to burn every bridge she could build. I had convinced myself that mine was a pure love, but upon reflection I pursued our relationship with a doggedness as fear was my driving factor. If I totally lost Oscar Wilde, I would never regain the identity that I enjoyed as his wife. It was simply not enough for me to be me. Self-serving, was it not? And I believed that I was self-sacrificing. Perhaps that was something that Oscar and I had in common. And so, Miranda, another article for you. By encapsulating my life in your pages, you gave me great insight, and thus aided me in moving forward. You recall how fond I am of that. There once was a man whose most mature capability was his brilliant art. And there once was a woman who developed an art to endure, though the love she craved was ultimately impossible. Yours truly, Constance.
May 1898, an address to the Chicago League for Progress. As editor of the Women's Nation, I say to you the following. The era of Constance and Oscar Wilde may have ended, but I look to a new century of equality where accepting each other for who we are and of what we are capable will be the norm. When the art of loving is not tested by the power of endurance, whether we are female or whether we are male.